Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the County Seat. I'm Terry Wood, and you are going to enjoy today's show because we're going to teach you how to save money on your taxes, no less. August is officially Tax Relief Month. Bet you didn't even know we had one. Well, today on the program, we're going to talk to some experts who know all about how to save money in your taxes because they're the ones that actually assess and collect your taxes. That's coming up in just a few minutes, but first, let's go down to South Salt Lake, where a group of seniors recently found out the secrets that you're going to hear today. Here's Derek Dowsett.
By now, you've probably received your property valuation notice from the county auditor's office. And you took a look at it and you saw about what you're going to owe on taxes this year for your property. It's not something we look forward to receiving each year, but it is a fact of life. But if you are having problems or trouble paying your property tax, there are some programs available through the county treasurer's office that can actually help you out.
The first one we refer to as circuit breaker, which probably isn't a great name, but it's for people over 66 years old and make an income under $31,208. That's one. There's another one called indigent, which is the same except it's a little more expansive. And then there's one for the blind, there's one for veterans, and there's one for extreme hardship also.
The Salt Lake County Treasurer's Office has been out in the community at different senior citizen centers to spread the word about tax relief programs. The circuit breaker in particular. 2 more workshops are being held in Salt Lake County on August 20th and the 27th. These efforts are being made as part of Tax Relief Month, before the September 1st deadline for these programs. And while the County Treasurer's Office is the office you pay your taxes to, they're also the ones who will help you if you qualify for one of these tax relief programs.
I think a lot of people just aren't aware of the program, and so that's really what we're trying to do this month, is make the community more aware of it. They're curious about what actually income is counted, and we do count all taxable and non-taxable income. They're curious if they have to include their assets, and with the circuit breaker for people who are 66 years and older, we don't include any assets.
Property tax relief is available statewide, so if you think you might qualify, go to your county treasurer's office and fill out the paperwork. We will talk more about tax relief and the appeals process when we return with our roundtable. Oh, I get it. Circuit breaker tax relief. It's like the circuit breaker in your home. It takes the load off so you don't burn something up. For the county seat, I'm Derek Dowsett.
Well, thank you, Derek. Now, you want to hear these secrets firsthand? You will in just a moment as we talk to the Salt Lake County Treasurer and the Salt Lake County Assessor.
I'm a Utah's own dairy producer. I care about the health of my animals, and I care about the quality of food we produce.
Because when it comes to providing quality dairy products,
I understand the importance of Utah grown and raised. And the jobs we enjoy are vital, because Utah's Own supports our communities.
As a consumer, I look for Utah's Own products, because Utah's Own is good for me and it's good for Utah.
Keeping it here at home, Utah's Own.
There are a couple great things about the Uinta Basin. One is it's still small, it's community.
It makes you feel like when you go somewhere, you know everybody.
When you know your neighbor knows you, and you can trust each other. People look out for one another.
I grew up in the Uinta Basin, and I think that it's a good place to raise a family.
So we packed up our 3 kids, and here we came to Uinta County, and what a great place it was.
It's not too big, it's not too small.
And it has a lot to offer that you just don't get in the big city anymore.
Kanab, base camp for your southern Utah adventures. You belong in Kanab.
There aren't a lot of places in this world where you can feel truly free and wild, where the horizon invites you to set off on adventure. In Tooele County, you'll find just that. Explore the Benson Grist Mill and step back in time. Find yourself on a trek through our canyons. Tooele County. Experience endless horizons.
Welcome back, everyone. We said we'd be talking to some experts about tax relief today, and you can't get any more expert than these two guys. On my far right over here is Wayne Cushing. He is the Salt Lake County Treasurer, the man who collects your taxes in Salt Lake County. And next to him is Kevin Jacobs, the Salt Lake County Assessor. He's the man who assesses your property. Now, you'd think you two government guys who want to get some taxes in, you're going out telling people how to lower their taxes, how to save money on them. You'd think you'd want to get as much as possible. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing is that there are people who have been paying taxes their whole life and are now at a point in time in their careers and lifestyle and income where they would struggle to pay their property taxes as taxes go up year to year. Mm-hmm. So there is a program that the state and the counties have that actually will allow them to pay less taxes if they are under a certain income level. And so we're out there trying to get the word out to those people because they deserve to have lower taxes because their situations are different than maybe you or
I guess a lot of people don't know about these various programs too.
And that's the problem we're seeing is that as their income levels change and they're now retired or maybe one of their spouses have passed away, that they don't even know that they are eligible for these programs.
And does every county have this similar program?
Every county has a program. It's either run by the treasurer's office or by the auditor's office of that county, and the state is also involved.
Additionally, as the assessor, we want to make sure things are equitable. So if someone feels their assessment is not correct or they have a problem with it, then we want to make sure that is adjusted and made right.
So let's find out about that. How do you go about assessing a person's property, and then what do they do if they disagree with that assessment?
All assessments are based on sales of similar properties. So we gather sales information year-long, and then we take the sales information and apply that to similar properties throughout the county on the unsold properties. Mm-hmm. Once the auditor mails out the valuation notices, where people see their values and the amount of the tax that's being assessed to their properties, they can bring in evidence to the County Board of Equalization that will allow their property to be adjusted.
What kind of evidence does a person need to bring in?
They need to bring in closing statements from the sale of the property, or comparable sales of similar properties, or an appraisal from an appraiser that will indicate what their value of their property could be.
And how many people, what's the percentage of the people who appeal who actually get their taxes lowered or their assessed valuation lowered?
In the past years, we've seen our number of appeals drop. Last year, we were very pleased. We had less than 2% of the parcels in Salt Lake County appeal their values. Mm. So we had just over 6,000 appeals last year. Mm-hmm.
And that's not too many to handle, huh?
No, that's not too many
now,
at all.
Once we get the word out, of course, you're going to have about 4% this year. You're going to have double that load, of course. You mentioned, Wayne, some of the programs you have for people that perhaps their income level has changed, various circumstances. Let's talk about some of those. One of them called circuit breaker programs. Correct. I mean, is that so when people see their taxes, they blow a fuse? You've got a circuit breaker there?
To tell you the truth, I do not know how they came up with that name. But the circuit breaker program is for those that are over 66 years old and are making household income less than $31,208. And that number adjusts annually. And so what they're saying is those are the type of people that are retired, living on Social Security or a small pension, and are on fixed income. And so that the property taxes can be a significant burden on them because of their income levels are not going to increase and in fact could decrease in the future.
Now, do both spouses have to be over 66 years old?
Just one of them.
Just one?
Yes.
And combined
income of the people in the household.
And does that take into account Social Security income?
Yes, Social Security. So basically it's the same information you would need to file your tax return. If you bring that information into our office, we can help them fill out the form. And that's kind of the thing. The form is a little complicated, but we have the people in our office that are willing and ready to help them fill it out.
You say that many people don't know about these programs, and that's one reason we're doing this television program today. How many people out there do you think there are in the state of Utah not taking advantage of this program?
Well, the one thing that's made us probably the most worried is we're seeing the numbers actually go down. So even though the population should be growing as far as those over 66, we're actually seeing the numbers that actually come in and apply are going down. And so we're thinking that the people are getting into that category and may have never in their life ever asked for any type of relief, and either they don't know about it or they're a little embarrassed to do so, and for some reason they haven't come in.
So they actually have to go down to the county offices.
We need to have a form filled out, which we will do and help them do. So, and once you get on our list, we will send you a form for the following year.
Now, this is for some tax relief. On the assessment appeals too, do you actually have to go down to the county complex at 21st South and State?
No, you don't. We encourage people to mail their appeals in. 90% of the people last year mailed their appeal.
And when you take a look at those appeals and you reassess the value, what percentage does it usually drop by, or does it ever go up, as a matter of fact?
We have a handful that go up each year.
Those people must be surprised.
Well, usually those people are requesting an increase.
Why?
They're looking for a loan or something, or they feel there's some financial benefit for them to ask for an increase.
That's news right there, that someone would ask for their taxes to be increased.
It doesn't happen often.
We could have made that the show headline.
It does happen a handful of times every year. But usually with the appeals, right around 70-75% of the people who appeal get some reduction. Not necessarily the amount that they're asking for, but they get some reduction.
So that always helps, every little bit. When you work with the circuit breaker option for the people who are over 66 years old, does pretty much everyone who meets the qualifications get that reduction in their taxes?
Yes, it's pretty much a standard form and a table that if they meet the requirements, they'll get the relief.
I mean, is there any kind of investigative work you do to make sure that all this is accurate?
We make sure that they bring in the information that's required, which would be like the Social Security statements or any pension statements, or any earnings from investments are required to be included in that income number. So we ask them to bring in the statements that will justify the numbers they put on their form.
Review all of those. And you were actually telling me during the break a while ago that you know, if enough people get their taxes lowered, then somehow tax rates have got to go up just to keep it all balanced.
Yeah, actually one formula that's used to determine taxes billed is the collection rates that we do as the Treasurer's Office. So if we're collecting very high numbers, your taxes will actually go down. And so that can be offset a little bit by the amount that we give for tax relief. But the amount that we're saving, because our collection rates in our county are one of the best, if not the best in the state, more than offset any additional that we would ask for because of the tax relief.
And of course, we hit that recession about 4-6 years ago.
Yes.
Did that have a major effect on your collections?
We did see a significant increase in the delinquencies, but that has definitely turned, and our collection rates are the highest they've been since in the last 20 years.
So that's good news for
Very good news.
All right, now there's some other programs besides the circuit breaker programs that people can take advantage of, those for 66 years and older. And when we come back in just a moment, we're going to talk about those programs too and how you can take advantage of them if you qualify. We'll be back in a moment.
What would you do with an extra day in Utah County? Explore the Wasatch Mountains? Snap a family photo at Bridal Veil Falls. Cool off on Utah Lake or the Provo River. No matter what you're searching for, you can find it in Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
You go through the day-to-day repeating what you did yesterday. Don't you wish you could access that piece of your life that's missing? Find the beauty, serenity, family fun, or anything else that's missing from your life in the Cedar City, Bryan Head area. Gain access to your adventure, whether it's camping, hiking, the arts, festivals, or just a getaway. Visit cedarcityayl.com for details on all the adventures that you can access in scenic southern Utah.
There's no need to travel far to find that perfect family adventure. Welcome to Yuba Reservoir. Boating, fishing, camping, and ATV trails await your next visit. Join us in Juab County. It'll change your family forever.
Why is it that environmental protection and economic development are often placed at odds with each other? Well, in Duchesne County, they have both. Here, modern industry and resource development go hand in hand with some of the most pristine wilderness in the western United States. A strong economy balanced with a lifestyle of exploration and discovery. But don't take my word for it. Go visit them. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough, get away.
There's no need to travel far to find that perfect family adventure. Welcome to Utah's Nebo Loop Scenic Byway. 38 miles of winding highway through the southern end of the Wasatch Mountains. Join us in Juab County. It'll change your family forever.
Welcome back, everyone. Very interesting program today. How to save money on your property taxes, how to appeal the assessments, and certain programs that you can apply for that would cut your taxes. Our guests are Salt Lake County Treasurer Wayne Cushing and Salt Lake County Assessor Kevin Jacobs. Kevin, we were talking during the break too, and we talked earlier about how people can appeal the valuation you give on their properties, but they don't appeal that directly to your office, do they? What's the process they go through?
The appeals are actually filed with the Board of Equalization, which is the Salt Lake County Council. You do not appeal to the assessor's office. And additionally, there's another office called Tax Administration between us and the taxpayers. Several years ago, the council felt that should be a safeguard for the taxpayers and not have the appeals go directly to the assessor's office. So they're looked at an independent party, an independent hearing officer that then determines what the value should be.
So if someone goes down to the county complex to appeal the valuation, there is that big assessor's office there. Do they pick up paperwork there, or do they go to a Board of Equalization office? How do they go about this?
The appeal form is actually online, and they can download that and fill it in. And then we ask people to review their information on our website, make sure the information is correct, and then they can mail the appeal in, or they can bring it in if they so desire.
And then it goes to the Board of Equalization.
Correct.
Okay, that clears that part up at least. We mentioned the circuit breaker programs for people 66 years and older whose income may have dropped, but you have other programs too where people can have their property taxes cut, lowered.
That's correct. We have other areas that they can get tax relief. One of them is the veterans. If there's a veteran that has a disability related to his service, he can get tax relief. Also, if somebody is legally blind in both eyes, they can get tax relief. And then also if somebody has had some significant economic hardships, there's relief for them.
And there's an indigent program.
The indigent program is based on that same $31,208. And if that's your household income, but they also include assets on that. So if you are not making a lot of income, but you have a lot of significant assets, you might not qualify.
Now, how does that differ from the circuit breaker program? That's also a $31,000 loan.
Yeah, the important thing about the circuit breaker is it's based on your income for the prior year. So you might have a nice home and a couple of nice cars that are paid off, but if your income is low enough that you qualify, you still get some benefit from the circuit breaker.
And indigent would just continue for several years, right?
Indigent continues, again, you have to apply annually, and so it's based on what your income was for the prior year. So what we'll do is we'll see some people are having a hardship for a couple of years, and then they get back on their feet, and so they'll get that tax relief for a couple of years, and they're back on their feet, and they don't need it anymore.
I'm sure you have a lot of this information. People can find it out on the website.
That is
of
correct.
Salt Lake County, but some indigent people might not even have access to the internet or be able to pull up those papers. What would they do? How do you get the word out to them?
What we've done, and we're doing that this month, August is a big month for us, is we're actually going to various senior centers throughout the valley.
Just like we saw a while ago.
Yeah, just like we saw. We're going to do that once a week during August. If anybody has any questions whether they qualify or not, they should actually come down to our office or call our phone number.
Now, August has been officially designated as Tax Relief Month. Something must happen when August ends. What is it, Tax Pay Month coming up next?
Well, obviously we have some deadlines, and so August is a big month for us to get those forms filled out and to get the word out.
And you probably have deadlines too for the appeals, right?
Right.
And people need to know that, or if they don't get in it on time, what happens?
Well, the Board of Equalization runs from August 1st to September 15th. So we accept appeals during that period. But September 15th is a very important date to make sure you get your appeals filed.
Okay, and we'll talk about some of these other deadlines that you have for your specific programs coming up in just a moment. We'll talk about that, and you'll find out what you need to know in a general sense from both of these gentlemen to lower your taxes and tax rates. We'll be back in a moment.
Next. Have you experienced diarrhea in the last 2 weeks? Did you shower today? With soap? Did you wash well? Down there and back there? Ugh, go see Olga. Ew.
What's the story of your life? What chapter are you on? Did you happen to get married recently? Perhaps you found your lost puppy at the animal shelter. Or you're taking an art class at the senior center. There's that flu shot that kept you well last season. And don't forget the museums and historical sites your family loves. And all the fun you have at the county swim center. County services from search and rescue to maintaining roads bring tremendous value to each of our lives. We're the Utah Association of Counties, helping you build the story of your life.
So what brings you to St. George?
Business meeting.
Staying long?
Just here for the day, quick in and out. On second thought. Holy.
We'd like to invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy your 45-minute flight to Salt Lake.
I should have booked a weekend.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we're talking about how to save money on your taxes today with Salt Lake County Treasurer Wayne Cushing and with Salt Lake County Assessor Kevin Jacobs. You mentioned you had a September 15th deadline, Kevin, for appealing your valuation, right?
That's correct.
You can do it between now and September 15th. After that, it's too late.
After that, it's too late. You can file a late appeal, but we just want to make sure everyone gets their appeal in on time and they don't have to worry about being late or having it denied because you're late.
And Wayne, for your various programs, the circuit breaker programs, the veterans program, the indigent, et cetera, do you have deadlines too?
We do. That is actually why we're having August being tax relief month, because the deadline for tax relief is September 1. So that's coming up fairly soon.
Okay. So all of those programs, September 1st, you have to get your applications in. But for questioning your valuation, your assessment, September 15th. Okay. The Counties all have these programs, as you said earlier in this program today. The information we've given, we've been talking to Salt Lake County's treasurer and assessor. Is it similar throughout the rest of the state? I mean, the information that you're giving us now, is that valuable if people are in Kane County or Washington County?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The numbers are still the same. They're based by the state numbers that are given out annually. And so each county will have those same levels of income that they need to deal with. Now, it might be the treasurer's office or it might be the auditor's office in each county, but each county will handle those.
And the assessment is the same way?
It's the same. The appeals may be filed with the assessor's office in other counties, but the Board of Equalization runs in each county in the state.
Is it one area more than others where you find a great deal of questioning of the valuation of the properties?
Not particularly, but commercial properties sometimes, depending on their rent or their income on the property, sometimes we'll see spike in those appeals.
Tax Relief Month. You must have balloons and cake and everything all month in your office.
Yeah, we're trying to get the word out.
Yeah, what if I ask you, we only have a few minutes left, you wanted to tell the people who are watching today, the citizens, what they should know, what would it be? We'll start with you.
Yeah, I think really what we're trying to do is saying there's people that deserve tax relief. They might not know about it, so we need to get to those who can inform them, whether it's their children, whether it's their neighbors, whether there's church group. We're involved with the religious and charitable organizations throughout the county to kind of team up to get that word out. So if they know somebody who might qualify for tax relief, we need to let them know about it and have them investigate it.
That's very important. Children of parents who might not be aware as they go into their senior years of some of these programs.
That's exactly right, because times change, income levels change, a spouse might have passed away. There's things that change that make them, all of a sudden, they do qualify.
So spread the word.
Spread the word is what we're saying, yes.
And Kevin, what would you say to the citizens?
I would like people to check the data that we have on their home or their property on our website, assessor.slco.org. Make sure that the square footage, year built, the other major components of the data are correct and that they're being assessed at the proper level.
Let's state that website one more time,
Assessor.slco.org.
And you have a website too, don't you, Wayne?
That's correct. It's treasure.slco.org.
And
if you go to the slco.org, the main county page, you can get to our link.
The main county page,
yes.
There. And people shouldn't fear this. Shouldn't fear just applying for relief or applying for a lower valuation, because it really works sometimes.
No, and it's an avenue for them to get their taxes reduced, and they should take advantage of it.
State law and county law. And
state law, the money's there, people deserve it. If they qualify, they deserve it.
You know, I like that attitude. The money's there, people deserve it, it's yours. So let's get that information out, spread the word to your family, to your neighbors, to anyone you know who might be able to be helped by this. Once again, you can see the websites on your screen. The main website, Salt Lake County, slco.org. They have a .org. They have a lot of information on there about various county programs, not only tax relief and valuation relief, but many of the programs you can take advantage of. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us today and sharing this information. I'm sure it's been valuable to a lot of people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the county seat, I'm Terry Wood, and thank you for joining us today.
If you like this video, then we invite you to subscribe to our channel, The County Seat. You can do that here. And we invite you to share with your friends. We also invite you to get all the latest up-to-date information by following us on our social media channels. And if all else fails, make sure that you watch The County Seat Sunday morning at 8:30 right here on ABC4 Utah.